Two Dads, One Tub was recorded in front of a live Twitch audience. If you want to catch us live, find us on twitch.tv/the NightShift Community every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific and 9:30 p.m. Eastern. With that being said, enjoy the podcast.
Blues, so we fire up the stream. Two dads raising hell, chasing whiskey dreams. Soap suds spilling like some midnight truth. Talking live from the tub, don't need no booth. Two dads, one tub, where the whiskey flows. Streaming half naked where the wild tales grow. Laugh so hard, spit whiskey on the mic. Night shift rebels broadcasting live.
Welcome everybody to Two Dads, One Tub episode 2 with our special guest GTHeroGaming this week. Panic. How's your week going?
It's going. It's been busy this week. A lot of rain in my area. But I haven't had to coach softball games, but we did have pitching lessons tonight.
So I guess there is an advantage to traveling for work because it's been beautiful up here in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
The problem is you're in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
It's Allentown is not like
it's not a destination.
I like Pennsylvania, like going up to Lancaster and all that kind of stuff and kind of hanging out with the Amish people. That's a good time. But it's also boring.
You know, Allentown's really it's a blue collar town, right? So like I respect the people here, but it's not like somewhere that I'd probably vacation to.
They're not people you want to spend your time with all the time.
I don't know.
Is that what you're saying?
I'd have a glass of whiskey with them, but I don't know about like living here, right?
Yeah. So, anything north of Tennessee, I don't know if I want to live there.
Yeah, that's fair. They did tell me that they had like 2 feet of snow here, like just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, no thanks. No thanks.
No,
I don't do snow. I don't do ice. There's
a reason why I have the accent that I do. I like the South.
Yes. We don't have an accent, by the way. It's everybody else.
Everybody else. Yeah. Even those like Midwesterners.
Yeah. They're just, But all right, before we unleash our guest into the chaos, we've got a couple of quick housekeeping things. Don't worry. We'll make it fast. Only mildly painful.
Yeah, just think of it like a pregame stretch. We all, it's before the main event. We got to loosen up those ear muscles.
So first off, Two Dads, One Tub is now recorded live every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on Twitch and YouTube. That's right. You can now witness the full train wreck that we have in real time. No edits, no filters, just raw, uncut dad energy.
And if you miss it live, well, that's okay. We forgive you. The podcast drops every Friday morning on all the big platforms. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, that weird app that your uncle uses. We're on all of them.
Now, this next part's exciting. We've got merch. Yeah. Actual real-life stuff you can wear or drink out of while pretending you're cooler than you really are.
You're probably cooler than us.
Check it out in the NS store in the description below. Rep the tub. Make the strangers ask you questions.
And last but not least, if you like the show or even just tolerate it, do us a solid. After you download this episode, give us a 5-star rating and leave a review on your favorite podcast app. It helps people find us and lets the algorithms know that we're not completely useless.
All right, announcements are done. Pretty quick. Let's bring in our guest before we start rating our own podcast out of desperation.
And while we're bringing on GT, just know there's a text line now. I think there's links going to be floating around in chat. If you text it and we get the live text, we might read your question on during the live podcast.
If you are currently listening to the audio version, it's also in the description for next episode. So feel free to text in for next episode. Currently pinned in chat.
All right. Well, let's bring it. Look, I have been excited all week about this guest. So this is a person that most of y'all have seen all over TikTok, all over it, doing her streamer shout outs, her funny videos of her screaming, playing scary games. We've even seen the video of her laugh that everybody loves while playing Repo.
We're hoping that we hear that tonight.
We might possibly hear that tonight. So yeah, let's, everybody just in chat, give her a warm welcome. Let's welcome in GTHeroGaming and let's chat.
So, GT, welcome in.
Hello.
So glad that you're here. This is awesome. How are you doing this week?
Man, so this week has been like one of the craziest weeks for me, but I think like the best part about it is this piece right here where I get to hang out with you guys, say hey to the community and the community too, even. And and just really just live it up and hang out with everybody and talk about things that are coming. And I think there was like some streamathon questions we were going to talk about and stuff, so I'm here for it.
Oh yeah.
By the way, I just hold on. I want to do a shout out real quick, or not really a shout out, but just to point something out. You have something behind your head that looks amazing. The NightShift hoodie. Come on. Yeah. I don't know if you planned that, but it looks amazing.
Yeah.
It looks so good. That looks
subtle
so good.
Placement. But then also, I actually have my logo.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, right?
It looks so good.
See,
look at there.
Yeah, I came fully prepared, gentlemen. Yeah.
Came prepared. So far, 2 for 2.
That shirt's still live on the merch store now. So if you want to go and rep the GT Hero NightShift logo, it's still there for you.
So yeah, GT, we talk at least maybe once a week in a chat. Just hey, I'm still here. I'm doing okay. Work's crazy,
Yeah.
But I see what's going on, that kind of thing. Let's talk about that a little bit. You're streaming, you're doing these 24 hours, and then working a full-time job as well on top of that. Life's crazy. Like, trust me, Gas and I both know how that works. So how do you mentally handle that? Like, how do you prep yourself to go from one mode to the next mode?
So I don't have a very healthy balance as far as life and how I utilize my time. Like Calm will tell you, I think last weekend I had worked on one project that I'm working on, a potential collab kind of situation, and then another big thing that we'll talk about here in a bit, hopefully, that I'd love to share with you guys, and then my own streaming stuff, and then just prepping for this week, and then doing some stuff for the work. I literally, at one point in time, I don't think I slept but maybe 2 or 3 hours between Saturday and Sunday, because I still had to stream, and then I still had to edit videos and things like that, because I like to map my videos out for the week, because work gets so crazy. And so trying to find little pieces to help streamline workflow and kind of stay on top of everything is really helpful, which is why I made that video on Nexus Clips, because it's a really helpful software that I use that helps me edit and schedule videos out and stuff like that. So I do that every Sunday. But honestly, Calm will tell you, all the helpful, healthy tips, you don't get those from me. You call Calm for that stuff. So
yeah.
But shout out to Calm. Calm's awesome.
Yeah, shout out to Calm for sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm a firm believer in, if you really, really want it, you work for it. And as long as your intentions are pure and, you're just going after it for all the right reasons, you'll get there, right? Whatever. I say this in my spotlight videos, right? You can get exactly wherever you're trying to go as long as we do it together, right?
Yeah.
The whole one follow. Yeah. Yeah. One connection, one hero at a time. Yeah, right. And
that's one of my That's one of my favorites. That's one of my favorite lines.
Yeah, it really is great.
Thanks.
So, and that's something that, Gas and I deal with too. Like, Gas travels for work, so he's gone most weeks. He'll get those occasional weeks where he's home, in the evening time. But, we work full-time jobs, and then, I've got 3 kids. I've got 3 daughters, so I've got softball season. I've got all that stuff going on. I've got a terrorist or a 3-year-old, if you want to, talk
She's
about
so
it
awesome,
in a
though.
normal. She is funny, but she can be a jerk. But that's okay. She gets that from me. So, and it's trying to find that balance. Whether it's a healthy balance or an unhealthy balance. And I'm kind of like you. I don't really have the healthy balance because a lot of times I'll be able to get up here and run a stream for a couple of hours. I'll get off stream and then sit in a chat for another 2 hours just hanging out with people while going over and doing a couple clips, doing things like that right afterward, because I may not get time between that stream and the next stream to even get a chance to sit down at the computer. So it's just really finding what works for you and just making sure you're doing it, to get to where those goals that you're wanting to reach. So
my biggest problem is, like, I want to do more on TikTok. Like, I've posted 2 videos to TikTok at this point, right? And I want to get to where I'm starting to do like more clips and things like that on TikTok. But my problem is, when I sit down at my laptop when I'm on the road, I want to hang out with people in their streams, right? And when I'm doing that, it is impossible for me to do clips, to work on clips and things like that. So I spend my time doing more of the networking side of things and supporting other streamers and things like along those lines. So, I mean, I'm trying to get that balance. It is hard to find that balance. It really is. So I definitely understand that struggle.
Yeah, it's it's just something that it comes back to work ethic. Really is what it is. So that work ethic's going to push you as far as you want it to push you. So I'm kind of like Gas. If once I sit down at the computer, I kind of have to force myself to do all the other stuff. Here lately, I've been learning OBS. I've been spending all my time in OBS learning how to set up widgets and do all kinds of cool, crazy things because I watch streams like yours. I watch streams like Unicorns. And there's countless others that I'll sit and watch, and I'm like, that's really cool. I wish I had stuff like that. Well, at first, I didn't know how to do it. And then trying to have time to sit down with somebody and have them show me how to do all that really wasn't feasible either because, they may not have the same free time that I have. So it's either set up a meeting in Outlook calendar, send them a meeting invite, or sit down, suck it up, and do it myself. So, watching videos, reading articles, and just learning how to code and that kind of stuff is, it takes a lot. So then coming to clip, my poor TikTok, I haven't done a whole lot on my own personal TikTok in a while because it's been focused more on the NightShift Community TikTok. So I spend most of my time there. And it's worth it. It's worth it. So, those are things that, can be hard, but in the end could be rewarding if you find that balance. So, but yeah, I mean, you're probably one of the hardest working streamers that we see out there because you're always posting your TikToks. You're always doing something with social media. We may not see you in the Discord as much as you would like, and quit apologizing for that, by the way.
Yeah,
because
do that.
You have a life. We get it.
It kills me though.
I know, we're the same way. You'll see us post in the Discord and be like, oh, sorry we're missing, but, my kid's got pitching lessons and I'm coaching a softball game. And most people are like, well, that makes sense that you're not on your phone playing on Discord and chatting. So, just know that, we understand, like we get it. It's not something that you have to feel bad about. Like, it's okay to it's okay to, kind of be like, oh man, it sucks, I can't do that. But don't feel bad about it. Enjoy your life. Enjoy that person, because if you don't, then there's a whole other set of issues that come into play, and then things just aren't fun anymore. So
yeah, right.
So my question is, like, knowing how busy you are and knowing how involved in your career that you are, like, because we've had that conversation before.
Mm-hmm.
What made you decide to start streaming?
Oh, I'm so glad we're doing this. Okay, because this is the story. It's a lot, right? So I am just like a natural entertainer. Okay, so I mean, like, for as long as I can remember, like, I did the whole American Idol thing. Fun fact.
Really?
I had like, yeah, like, I write my own songs and stuff, and like, I'm currently in a band. And so,
what?
Surprise! Surprise!
Where can we find this music?
Yeah, where can we find it?
On TikTok, it's Know Us by Heart, and so it actually just kind of started out just for fun. So like, it's people from a few people that I work with, that we had like a talent show at work, and we got together and we just kind of been performing ever since. So we're still kind of like a newer band. But before that, I was just kind of singing on my own and writing songs on my own. So like, I had several like singles out and stuff. Yeah. So I'm still writing, like, we're still singing. I have like an event like May the 23rd that the band is practicing for currently, but we have a blast. It's really great. Karaoke is like, I do it in my sleep.
So are we going to get a music stream ever?
Sure, yeah, well, that's fine.
Well, I mean, you just kind of dropped a bombshell on us, right? So,
well, I didn't know I was actually going to say that either, so, it was kind of a surprise for everybody.
Look, Know Us by Heart just got a new follow on TikTok, by the way.
Yeah,
like, live right now.
Yeah, perfect.
So I'm pretty excited to go listen to that and watch some of those videos after we get done here.
Two new followers.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I mean, but so my point from that is, that's the entertainer side, right? So like, I'm really comfortable on camera and just like in front of people. And fun fact, I actually will probably lean more towards on the side of like more introverted. Like, if by choice, I would rather not have to juggle like a ton of people or a ton of social interaction at a time. But like, streaming is completely different for me. It's better almost. And so like, that's where the entertainment side comes from. But the video game side is actually extremely sentimental for me. So I have 2 siblings, and we're all super close. We all live like an hour or so away from each other. But growing up, we would always play video games together. And if we weren't playing video games, we would go visit family, like in Virginia. We'd go visit my great grandmother, and between my great grandmother and like my great uncle and aunt that's up there, we would play card games and stuff. I mean, until so late in the night, we couldn't hang. So games for us were just a way to come together. It was always a way for us to come together and like bond. And so even when my siblings and I live far apart, we will still like jump on for Fortnite or some kind of game. And as we're playing, it just gives us a chance to catch up and connect with each other. And so for me, gaming is a way for connection, to come together and to just be and have a good time. It gives you a chance to like put all the rest of the life crap aside, and you can just like embrace this moment that you're sharing with someone. You know what I mean? Get lost in a game or something, Yeah.
That was kind of my thing growing up. I've got one sister, and she does not play video games, but I had cousins, and a lot of people know the myth of my cousin here in this Discord, Sir H2Os. But I grew up playing video games. Yeah, he lives across the street from Gas. But I grew up playing video games with him and just my neighborhood friends and a couple other, cousins and things like that. And that was really the only way we got to really hang out outside of playing outside, because it was the late 80s, early 90s. So, you could only play so much Duck Hunt and Super Mario Brothers before you get bored and have to go do something, a little different.
Says you. Right?
Well, I also enjoyed being outside. I still do for the most part. But yeah, I mean, gaming is that for me and for yourself, it has that sentimental value to it where, it kind of takes you back to the good memories of what it was like to be a kid again, to just really not have a care in the world. And then we decided to throw streaming on top of it. So this carefree hobby that we're throwing this stressful, but exciting experiment that we decided to run on ourselves of, hey, I'm going to stream video games and try to talk to people. Yeah. And let's see how that goes. And, it's lonely at first, but it does, if you're having fun, if you're just enjoying yourself, it takes off. So, I really do, connect with that. That's something that, plus I really connect with the music side for you. Like I grew up in a family of Southern gospel singers. Okay. And I do not sing myself, because it would burst some eardrums here and there. So, but no, I grew up, listening, to the Southern gospel bands and a lot of older, like Oak Ridge Boys, things like that. So, I enjoy the music side of it too.
Yeah. So, I mean, my brother and I, and my little sister there for a minute, we thought we would stream together. And so, because it was our thing, right? And so we did it for maybe, I think we had a handful of streams. This was years ago. And nobody from the States followed us. We had a pretty good following in Brazil, weirdly enough. Yeah, it was weird. I don't even know where they came from, because we didn't really have a TikTok either. We just literally just started a Twitch, didn't know anything about anything. And then we were just on one day and someone from Brazil was cheering us on. We were playing one of their Resident Evil games. And I was oh, hello. And then there's 50 of them just talking us up. It was crazy. And I don't think they ever came back either, but, but we stopped shortly after that. So we probably lost them, but
they came back for that one episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, we were talking about it last week with Unicorn. I don't think that we have anybody in the night shift from South America. We have 4 other we've got 4 continents covered at this point, but I don't think we have South America yet. So shout out to South America. If you guys want to join the night shift, hit us up.
We're waiting.
Yeah, come on in. We're waiting. Come in. It'll be a good time, I promise. It's funny you say that about the, people from Brazil stopped in on your stream. When I first started streaming, I had 4 viewers, which was Gas, my cousin, myself on an alt account, and one other person from Australia.
Oh.
Just some random person from Australia that came across our stream while we were playing games, and playing Pal World. They stayed for a long time. They've disappeared now, and I assume life got busy for them. Things have, they had a pretty hectic work schedule, things like that. But yeah, and then from that Australian, we met the New Zealanders, which would be Sidabine, Sydney, or Bean, as everybody sees. Occasionally she'll pop into a chat and just yell "High Gas, High Panic," and then disappear again. But she's a streamer as well over in New Zealand. So I kind of started out on the other side of the world, hanging out with people, and then made a TikTok. And let's talk about that.
Sure.
You're the TikTok, the call out to find people, to your streamer shout outs, your call out to say, hey, drop your Twitch, let's meet up, let's hang out, let's be friends. I didn't even see yours before I did mine, and I had seen a couple of them here and there, and they didn't really do a whole lot. It had like 20-25 comments on the ones that I saw, and I was like, well, you know what, if they're getting 25 people that are streamers on Twitch, that'll be nice to have, get some new people, to meet up with, chat with, and hang out with, and go watch on Twitch. And then that I know yours blew up a little bit. So that's pretty much where this all kicked off for me. So what gave you the thought of doing that?
So, this is how I approach literally everything, right? So I am only the person that I wish I had in front of me. Period. Like, I try to do my very best to just be the person that I wish I had in front of me at all times. And whether that looks like as a friend or as a partner or as a streamer, a sibling, you know what I mean? And so what happened when I started streaming by myself, because we brought all this back, well, me. And I had support, like my siblings, they were just caught up doing other things. And I kind of fell into this again because I always wanted to come back to this. And it was just a matter of just taking the initiative and just starting it up by myself instead of without my siblings. And so I was just trying to figure out what that looked like, what it was that I was trying to bring into this community. And so how this is, and I mean, I just want to say, like, it's amazing to see how far this community has come, right? To see so many people just stepping up and spotlighting other small streamers. And I mean, when I first started doing streamer spotlights, it really came from a personal place. And I mean, all I ever try to be is that person that I wish I had in front of me. And so as a streamer, that just looks like somebody willing to shine a light on me, right? Just take some spare time out of their whole platform and just share a second, like, my way, and go, hey guys, look at this person. Look how much fun they're having. Like, if you're matching that vibe, go hang out with them. And it costs you absolutely nothing, but maybe a minute, 60 seconds is the video. You know what I mean? And if that means, like, I remember when I first did my very first spotlight, right? Or when I even like entertained the thought of doing it, it was more of like, first of all, I'm about to spotlight a small streamer. This is back in December when I just started, and I'm also a little fella. And so, like, I have like 10 people in my back pocket, and I'm like, hey, 10 people, look at this person who has 5 people. You know what I mean? And there for a minute, like, there's a big piece of a little bit of imposter syndrome that kind of kickstarts this off, and it's like, stop it, you're just a small little thing. What is, like, your spotlight going to do for anybody? But honestly, outside of like making that person feel like they're seen, even just to like me and 2 other people, hey, we see you look like you're a good time, we can hang out sometime if you want, and if not, these guys will hang out with you. You know what I mean? And so, like, share where you are, like, let's do that. And for me, it wasn't even really about me. It was just being there for somebody who I wish I had in front of me when I first started. Like, I would have loved a spotlight. You know what I mean? Still would, by the way, for whoever. I still would.
I think that's
you're getting yours right now.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly.
We're kind of putting you out there forever on some platforms. And that's the point. So
that's exactly the point.
To me too, like, one of the best things that Twitch has done in the last 5 years is, because I've been 5 years ago, I was pretty serious about streaming, and then I took a pretty extended break for 3 years, and then I started back up in November with Michael. Right. I say it's Panic. You guys know him as Panic. I know him as Michael.
Hey,
right.
Look, I put my name out there on TikTok. Everybody knows my real name, so we're good.
So, but the stream together function that Twitch added, like, that's such a cool thing, because not just for somebody like Panic and myself, where we're streaming together most of the time if we're on the weekends at the same time and that kind of thing, but to bring somebody that just joined the night shift into one of our streams, and we're like using that as a way to introduce them to the community. Right, and that kind of thing. So doing the spotlights in a little bit more subtle way is like the stream together thing, but you go all out. You go all out on TikTok, and I'll be honest, your streamer spotlights are like my favorite streamer spotlights to see, because it does such a good job at highlighting the individuals. And it's not like it's not about you. It's not about anything like that. It is 100% about sharing some love to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And that's at the core of it. That's what the night shift started as. Like, and it's grown. Yeah. It's good. It's this chaotic little bubble of a family now that it's, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but like, the way that you do it is like a perfect embodiment of what the vision was 5 years ago for the night shift. And we didn't even really have TikTok back then, but the fact that you did it, and you've you found the night shift, you found the group and everything. Like, I don't know, the timing of how everything has happened was just like, it was perfect. Right.
Yeah. I think that I have that thought all the time, like when I hear Panic say that he started streaming like in December timeframe, because so did I. Like, I think my very first official stream was like late December. And so, then like with the TikToks and everything, the streamer spotlights, and then how we found each other. Like, I know everybody brings up Packers fan too, but I mean, at that time, everybody kind of found each other that in that little community. Like, we were just jumping into each other's streams, and TikTok really helped a lot with that for sure.
And imagine this. It was the fact that TikTok was going to go away overnight.
Yeah, no joke.
Much.
Yeah.
And that was really my thought process, because I think the TikTok I made was right around the time that it was going away. Yeah. And I was like, well, I'm going to put this out there, and I'm going to try to find some people and find them on Twitch, and the people that are on Twitch, so I can find a little bit of community there to chat with. And, really what happened is I started streaming. I think my first stream was right at the end of November, right after Thanksgiving. And I streamed for I streamed every day for 3 or 4 months. So Gas and I were having conversations, outside of stream and while we were streaming, of talking about, hey, let's kick the night shift off again. Let's try to rebuild it. I call it the revival, because as a Southern Baptist, as a Southern Baptist kid growing up, revivals were the big things you saw for churches to revamp their attendance and bring new people in. So, we talked about it, and Gas is like, yeah, let's do it. And where Gas and I differ, Gas would probably prefer to plan things out. I don't. I just kind of say, you know what? I'm just going at it. I'm going to run headfirst towards this wall, and I'm going to hope it gives way. Because if not, I'm knocking myself out. But it worked, and and it's been nonstop since then. Like, the growth has been crazy. We've met some amazing people. Like, we've met you, we've met Unicorn, we've met I Am Pancakes. Preston is one that we've met, and just pretty much everybody in the community. And it's been amazing to see this kind of, like Gas called it, a family bubble form. And what's great is we're still bringing people into that bubble. There's people that are hearing about us through TikTok now or through just word of mouth, and they're like, hey, I want to be a part of that, and then they're just showing up. So, it's really been amazing, and I think you and I first really started chatting right around end of January, 1st of February. Mm-hmm. I think I ran into you in a stream or two, and I commented on your TikTok as well, and then finally ran into you during a stream, and then it just kind of kicked off from there. Just chatting there and talking, and so that really has been the really cool aspect of this, because you're right, it did kind of the universe kind of said, hey, y'all are all starting, y'all all have this same vision, we're gonna let y'all cross paths, and then y'all take it from there. So
I mean, I think I say this all the time, like for work, like as my career, I do a lot of like presentations, like have to create a lot of buy-in for certain ideas and stuff. And so I usually I'll hype myself up before like a meeting. Like I'm really big into like words of affirmation to myself, So I'll be walking to a meeting and I'm like, they're here for you. Like whatever you have to say, they're going to love it. You know what I mean? Like you got this. You're like the best speaker in here. Like, whatever. It's whatever, but it works. I get hyped. I get really high. I'm like ready to go when we get in those meetings. But my point is, like, one of the things that I tell myself is, you can never say the wrong thing to the right people, and there's nothing but the right people in the room. I say that every time. You can never say the wrong thing to the right people, and there's nothing but the right people in the room. And I say that often, like even when I'm moving into spaces like this, where be your genuine, authentic self, and the people who are supposed to be here will be, and the ones who aren't will fall off, and it doesn't matter because they're not your people anyway. And so it gets you away from like the people pleasing kind of thing, where like, oh, I have to cater my stream to a certain vibe, or I have to cater my stream to like a certain audience, and you don't. People get asked like, oh, what games do I play? Whatever you want, baby. Play whatever you want. And then, be yourself. My gosh. And then whoever is going to be in here with you will just be with you, because they're genuinely here for you. Like they're not here for the game. They're not here for the game. They're here because they want to hang out with you because you put on a good show, or like you've got a good vibe, or you like align with whatever they do. And so, I'm not quite sure I was going with that, to be honest.
Yeah, well,
perfect example is when I was streaming a lot back, 4 or 5 years ago, I played Farming Simulator almost exclusively. Like you would be amazed.
It's such a terrible game.
No, it's an awesome game.
Shut your mouth, Panic.
So,
God.
Shout out to the Farming Sim community, right? So. But
my Nana played Farming Sim. I'm just saying it. It's
much like the way that Unicorn talked last week about the Helldivers community. The Farming Sim community rallies around each other in the same way.
That's true.
And it's not just Farming Sim. It's all the sim games. American Truck Sim, ETS, things like that. And even to a degree now, it's a different subject matter, but Schedule 1 is just a sim game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's one of the most popular games on Twitch right now. So, like, you hit the nail on the head. You play what you want to play. You play what you have fun with, because that fun vibe translates universally.
Yeah.
Right?
It really does. And, what's funny is, last week, that same sentiment came up with Unicorn. Play what you want. As long as you're having fun, people will show up.
Yeah, because Kevin Costner said it.
Kevin Costner said if you have fun, they will come.
If you have fun, they will come. I remember that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We like to quote movies at this podcast.
Even though if we do it poorly.
Oh God, that bothers me so much.
Same movie,
but it was such a good.
Same movie.
It bothered me so much when it was said, but it was so great at the same time. But Anyway, so one of my favorite things about you, GT, is the fact that you do your streamer spotlights, and they're absolutely 100%. Well, hold on, we're going to change that. They're absolutely 99% all about that spotlight until the very end, because you have mastered how to subtly promote yourself, and in a way that most people probably don't even catch it. I caught it mainly because I'm in sales. That's kind of, you kind of have to subtly promote things in a way that people, they're like, oh, I like this. And then they start hearing it more and more. And then they see you, and it's just putting yourself out there. But you do this subtle promotion of yourself in your tagline at the end of it. And it's the greatest, it's one of the greatest things that I've seen. And it's one of my favorite parts. I get a big smile every time you do it. So
I just want you to know, we've had this conversation amongst ourselves about your TikToks. So, we're on the same page on this.
Yeah. So how did you come up with that? What was your thought process going into that?
Okay,
give us the line and then talk about it.
Yeah. So the line is, I'll do a streamer spotlight, and then I say, I'll spotlight the streamer, and I'll say, don't forget to leave your handles in the comments so that we know where to come and support you. And then while you're over there supporting so-and-so, feel free to give me a follow also, so that I know when you're live and I can get you in on this one. And then I say, because we can all get exactly where we're trying to go as long as we do it together, with one follow, one connection, one hero at a time. And I freaking love saying that. And so, but also, I think I have a little bit of a hero complex, to be honest. Because, everything is, on brand. I try to keep everything on brand. And that, I know I don't necessarily, I come from sales, but not, it's not currently what I do. But I grew up in a family where my parents swore they were entrepreneurs. They swore up and down they were businessmen and women. And I love mom and dad, but we know that's not true. So we had, as kids growing up, they literally would buy, wholesale pallets or, get into some kind of business or whatever. And we're kids growing up around that. So when they would go to auctions or flea markets or whatever, we're constantly around my dad, talking stuff up, normal everyday stuff, but talking it up as if it were thing you had to have. And he's a great talker, my dad. And but so we were just exposed at a young age of just talking stuff up, and making sound great, even if it's a 20-year-old VHS tape or something. You know what I mean? Whatever he's trying to sell. But honestly, the hero bit comes from my channel named after Doberman Hero, right? And so he isn't currently yet, but I'm gonna work him into the logo somehow. But when I talk to Hero, I'll talk if he's just a normal person, as if I'm talking to you guys or something. I literally would just tell him about my day or whatever. But then if he's hungry or whatever, I'll use his name in, it'd be almost third person or something, right? Oh, you're this is so dumb because I'm talking to you guys I'm talking to my dog. But everyone listening, I'm sorry.
I don't know if we should feel good. I don't know if we should feel good for the dog or bad for ourselves at this point.
Yeah.
Oh no!
There she is.
Oh no! Did I lose you? Did we lose each other for a second?
Just for a second. Just for a second. You're good to go.
Okay. But I'll say that he's a hungry hero if it's dinner time or what, what it's just our talks, okay? but like, so like whatever. But so when I'm talking to myself on stream, or like I'm talking to you guys on stream, and I like to plug Hero in because it keeps everything on brand, right? So like, I don't want to just say, hey, let's follow each other, or like, hey, let's, one, I don't like to get into the like follow kind of thing, because it's a mess, and you get a lot of folks that are like super angry, or they feel like entitled for some reason. Like the follow for follow group is very like, oh, I followed you, and yeah, you may followed me back, but like you didn't do X whatever for me. Well, that's because that's not what this is about, right? Like, we're building a community here, like I literally say in the stream, like, if I'm spotlighting somebody, hey, looking for X kind of person or X kind of vibe, like, this is that person for you. Not to follow just to follow, but to follow to hang out, and because this person's really cool, and I think you should, check them out. That is what to. But yeah, so I mean, this may be a little disappointing, but there's not like I didn't have like a master plan. It just kind of came natural, because I'm trying to say, like, hey, if you're looking for connection and you're trying to get somewhere, well, the only way to get there is together, and you got to start with a follow, and then we build a connection. But you can't do any of it without me, Hero.
Yep.
So,
I mean, it's the perfect tagline. It really is. It works. It's catchy. And it does. It brings a smile to your face. Like, just watching it, I smile every time I listen to it. But I mean, you're right as far as, building that connection and building that community. And that's one thing that, like, you'll hear Gas and I talk about that a lot, because, people will get questions from people within the community of, why is nobody coming to my streams, or why is it taking longer for me to do this, to hit affiliate? Why can't I get that average viewer count? And what we tell them is, you got to look at your engagement, because not just on your stream and what you're putting out, your stream may be amazing. It may be a great stream, but if you're not networking and engaging with people within the community, or even in streams, just out and about, it doesn't even have to be in the community. If you aren't in other streams networking and talking to them and building that connection, those people aren't going to come watch. You're going to get the occasional person that will swipe through from the For You page or the recommended page or whatever it's called on Twitch, and they'll show up. So you'll get those people that will come and watch, and they'll get to know you. They'll build that connection from watching you then. But it's going to take a lot longer if you just do it that way. So the fastest way I found to grow was to network. It's just like anything else you do in life. Networking is king. So if you get out there and you get to know people, you build a relationship with people, that is how you build your community. And what you said earlier, those that come that want to stay are going to stay. The ones that aren't right for you, well, they're going to fall off, and that's fine. Because they weren't right for you, you weren't right for them. It's okay. You're not going to make everybody happy. But what you want to find are the ones that you do make happy. And the ones that make you happy as well, that you enjoy spending time with.
Right.
So it's just, the tagline's perfect. It's basically saying, hey, as long as you're out there connecting, you can build that community. But in order to start that way, let's network. So come follow me.
Yeah.
I'd like to get to know you. It's really cool. Subtle promotion is, it's key. And I struggle with it on this because, like you said earlier, I have a little bit of imposter syndrome. It's like, yes, I get it. I kind of put myself at the forefront at the beginning as the PR guy and get myself out there and trying to get this off the ground. But the thing is I'm no different than everybody else in the community. I'm not a big time streamer. I'm not famous. I don't have thousands of followers. I just hit 700 followers the other day, and it took forever to get there. And I'm not this famous person, but I go out and I network, and I still have to do all the same things that we're teaching the community. I'm having to do that myself. So I've always been the lead by example. And that's my biggest, that's the biggest thing for me is leading by example. So I make it a point to show up in streams when I can. Now being a father of 3 and having busy season at the moment, it's a little bit more sparse, but I still show up in people's streams. Like I'll still go in and say, hey, saw you were live, just wanted to come say hi, but it's family time. I got to get back. I'm going to go play Barbies with my daughter, with my 3-year-old, or, I've got pitching lessons. We got a softball game, but I just wanted to say hi. I love y'all. Good to see you.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way. It says, hey, look, he took the time to think about me in his personal time. So, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun networking, and you get to know people.
Yeah, if it helps. I had a friend tell me one time about imposter syndrome, that you wouldn't have it if you weren't doing the thing that you felt like you had imposter syndrome about. Does that make sense? Like you're literally doing what you're thinking that you can't do. And so it's almost kind of like cancels that whole thing out. Like, look at
it really
you.
does.
You're doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, so and
you're out here making it happen.
It is. It's a real thing, but I'm also that person will tell myself, you're being dumb right now because, you're doing what you've set out to do. Like you're doing it. But then there's that guilty feeling kind of comes over. So like I'm bad about it because I've had to step back and say, hey, I do kind of have to start promoting myself a little bit.
Yeah.
Or else I'm going to go stagnant because I've put all my time on the vision that I have for this community, what I want this community to be, what Gas wants this community to be. We focused on getting to know everybody here, and we want to do anything and everything we can for anybody in this community. And I know a lot of people know that because we will go out of our way, just to chat with. Like we'll sit in a voice channel just to chat with somebody that's having a bad day.
Or somebody that's new to the community that doesn't know anybody in the community yet. Like I've been in voice chats for 2 hours with people that are like that just joined that night and immediately joined a voice chat, and they have no clue what the night shift is about, what we're trying to accomplish, anything like that. And the biggest imposter syndrome thing for me is I struggle with even telling people that I was the founder of the night shift. Panic has basically forced me to do that, essentially, because I don't take credit for anything that goes on in the night shift. The most I will usually admit is I was the idea guy. It was the brainchild back 5 years ago, 2020, when during the pandemic, we said, hey, it'd be really cool if streamers had a place to come and try to grow their community, and there'd be ready-made people that were like-minded that wanted to do the same thing. And I mean, it went. I got really overwhelmed because I was trying to do it by myself more so than anything. The first go round, and we have so much more help now. You help. Unicorn has helped bring people in. Pancakes, Preston, everybody, and I'm just naming.
Well, you've got Mast, you got Princess Leia.
Yeah,
so many people.
Shout out to all the admin for real.
Well, not even just the admins; it's everybody in the community at this point. Everybody in the community says, "Hey, I love the night shift. I love what the night shift is doing, and I want to share that." And I'm not trying to make this about the night shift, but it goes perfectly with how you were trying to operate on your TikTok, as far as we're all into this in this together. Streaming is very competitive. If we can do something, even just small things to help ease that competitiveness and make it easier for guys for guys and gals to achieve their goals one step at a time. That's all we're trying to do. We can't guarantee anything, but we've got a pretty darn big community at this point that all want the same thing, and they care about helping each other succeed. So that's a pretty awesome thing.
Yeah, and I made you come to the forefront because I was tired of being asked about, can I do this? Can I do that? I don't know. Ask Gasafras. He's the one with all the power. So I kind of forced you to, and then, that was, and at the beginning the biggest thing is, you're a lot like we are mindset wise. It's a we mentality. It's not a me. It's a we. And we look at that as we're all streamers, and that's how this community is built. It's a we community. It's not a Gasafras and Panic at the Ditto community. It's a we community. So that's what I think that's what makes it work. That's what makes it special. And I know we kind of, derailed, and we're talking about, some random stuff as far as, self-promotion. And then we ended up talking about, the community and all that. But the biggest thing I want to know right now is, what are your favorite snacks? Like, we gotta talk snacks.
Hit me with the hardest questions.
We gotta talk snacks.
So
I got hungry, and then my brain went to food, and then we were talking about this serious stuff, and I just really want to know, what kind of snacks are we having?
So I know you snuck Pop-Tarts on scene and didn't tell anybody. So
no,
that's not a secret.
There's no not telling anybody. I always have Pop-Tarts with me. 100% always have Pop-Tarts.
So I am not like a snacker, right? So if I'm going to like eat something, you know how like you have people who like love desserts, or they love like the like real food, you know what I mean? So my go-to is pizza. 100%, like hands down. It's my kryptonite. Like, if I'm thinking about like a nutrition plan or working out or whatever, I'm like, okay, that's cool, but like at least one day during the week is for pizza. Like, I'm never gonna have like, what's up?
Is it thin crust or like hand tossed or pan or what?
So in thin crust.
We talking Detroit, Chicago. What we talking about here?
If you're going thin crust, like, are you trying to be good? Like, you feel like you're just supposed to just go get a salad at that point. Like, we're going for like
we're just asking what you like.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm going for like pan or like stuffed crust. We ain't going for like no thin crust pizza. Like, we mean to business when we eat pizza. It's for real.
Look, I go thin crust because I don't want to share.
Yeah, I like the toppings.
Yeah, I do the full like heavy meat thin crust, and then I don't share with anybody, and I eat the whole pizza myself because it really translates down to like 4 or 5 actual pieces of pizza.
Yeah,
with a lot of meat.
Now I will do that for
I tell myself
Valentine's
that I'm getting
Day.
the maximum amount of protein.
Yeah, that's it. That's what. So on Valentine's Day, Papa John's. Nice Panic.
That was a subtle one. I appreciate that.
Papa John's has like the thin crust, like the heart-shaped pizza. Now I will get one of those for myself. It's like every Valentine's Day thing. 100%.
Look, they're so good. They're so good.
Yeah.
Look, I get it. We get it on Valentine's Day as well at our house so my wife and I really don't celebrate the holidays. Look, we almost forgot our anniversary for the second year in a row this year. Like last year it was 2 days after our anniversary, and my wife looked at me and she goes, "Yeah, we missed our anniversary, but I love you." So, this year we planned to do something for our anniversary, and we kind of hung out, but we still didn't go do what we had planned 3 days prior to do. We ended up going over to my mother-in-law's and building a pergola for our anniversary.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so pizza's your kind of go-to when you're, you want something fun,
Yeah,
something
either that
snacky.
or like, I mean, snacky. I mean, maybe like chips. Like chips is always a win. Like
So
literally, just like, yeah, like chips is pretty solid. I can snack on some chips.
Dots pretzels.
I do like a good pretzel.
That's my go-to. Dots pretzels.
So I have a weird habit. I eat a Pop-Tart before bed every night. I have since I was in the military and prior to that. But it's really not even my favorite snack. I just do it because it's a habit, and we ADHD people tend to form habits that stay with us forever. But yeah, I'm like you. Chips are my go-to. Like I will sit and eat a bag of chips. In one setting. So my wife went away from buying the big bags of chips and started buying the boxes of the individual lunch bags.
Right.
So here's the secret panic that we all got to know, though. When you say you eat a Pop-Tart, do you consider a 2-pack of Pop-Tarts a Pop-Tart, or do you put one of them up for tomorrow?
What kind of psycho is going to open a pack and then go reseal what? If you open it, you eat it all.
Absolutely not.
So you eat 2 Pop-Tarts before bed every night?
It's one Pop-Tart. One Pop-Tart it's a couple. Like you're eating. Like
it's a unit.
Okay. So hold on, time out, Gas. Do you open a bag of M&Ms, just eat one M&M and put them away?
That's not the same thing.
It is. You opened it.
No.
Do you eat the whole little package of M&Ms in one setting, or do you?
You're gonna look my avatar in the eyes right now and tell me that one Pop-Tart
you don't open. Yeah, that's like saying you open a pack of gum and you chew the whole pack.
Okay, you don't know me. You don't know my life.
No,
I absolutely do. It's called stimming.
Nope. So look, Gas. That's where your analogy there doesn't work, because gum is individually wrapped within the pack. So you've got to unwrap.
So we can go with Starburst then.
Starbursts are individually wrapped, so you can stop. You don't have to eat them all. Pop-Tarts are not individually wrapped. They are wrapped together for a reason, to eat both of them.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So it's like a 2-pack of Reese's. You can't just eat one of them. You gotta eat them. It's open.
Yeah, right. Nobody's saving the Reese cup.
That's right. Speaking of which, I did stock up on Easter like second Halloween is what I call it, because it's the 2 holidays about candy.
No, listen. You have to share the whole description of that.
No,
you're going to now.
I can read it right now. I can read it. I have it pulled up right now. I can absolutely read it right now.
So I was driving down the road. We went to Walgreens today and stocked up on 65% off candy. And I got to thinking about it, and really we have 2 Halloweens. So we have the Witches and Ghosts Halloween, like the spooky one. And then we have the zombie and rabbits. Or Jesus coming back in the rabbits, depending on how you want to look at it and what your beliefs are. So we have 2 versions of Halloween. One's a little spooky, one's different, but you get little cute cuddly rabbits as well that poop out chocolate.
Now, the secret is you get Cadbury eggs.
Yeah, that's the rabbits pooping out chocolates, because rabbits lay eggs, which is, to me, never made sense as to why we hid Easter eggs and the mascot was a rabbit. Why was it not a duck or a bird?
I think you undersell how you told Gas and I about this revelation. Okay? At 4:18 my time, add 3 hours, 7:18, he said, no context, we were talking about the podcast and prepping. Y'all, did you know we really just have 2 Halloweens and then silence for 2 minutes because we did not respond? Then he proceeded to type, one for witches, one for witches and ghosts, the other for zombie and rabbits that lay eggs. And then pause and go, correct, it's just candy dress-up days. One's just more obviously spooky. Pause. And then backpedals a little bit. Sorry for the bad joke. I just wanted to buy a shit ton of candy at Walgreens for 65% off.
I was trying to justify it, okay? I was trying to justify it.
Well done. Well done, Panic.
But we bought, look, I got some peanut butter M&Ms, the eggs. I got those for $1.25 for the big bag. The big
Nice.
Easter egg Reese's, I got like 4 of the 6 packs for $4. And then my all-time favorite, the chocolate covered marshmallow, the Russell Stover's chocolate marshmallows. That's like my favorite candy. It's the only thing Russell Stover's does that's any good. So yeah, but anyways, yes, I bought snacks today.
My favorite is the Cadbury caramel filled eggs. Those are good.
I never was a Cadbury fan. The commercials freaked me out. Like the rabbit was a little creepy when I was a kid.
The best Reese's peanut butter cups are the Reese's peanut butter cups Easter egg editions. Every single time. I will buy a pack of them and try and ration them for as long as I can.
So look, here's the thing about Reese's. You get the little 2-pack in the candy aisle, and they're fine. They're good. But the ratio's not perfect. There's a little too much peanut butter for the chocolate because really, in all honesty, it has that wrapper and you lose half the chocolate on the bottom anyways when you open it, whether it's melted or it's just been sitting on the shelf forever. So at Christmas time, at Halloween, and at Easter, you get the perfect ratioed Reese cup. And it just happens to be in the shape of a bat, a ghost, a Christmas tree, a pumpkin, or an egg.
Yeah, pumpkin.
But is the perfect amount of chocolate for the perfect amount of peanut butter. And those will always be the superior Reese cups. So none of this other stuff that they're doing where they're throwing pretzels and M&Ms and all that other crap inside of them.
GT, when we were warning you about the ADHD conversations, this is kind of what we were talking about.
Oh no, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, I have hardcore ADHD too, so no worries. But I thought there was some question about a streamathon, right?
Yeah, let's you're going to keep us on track tonight.
Yeah. Look at the professionalism. I love it.
Yes. But yeah, you did a 24-hour.
It's been a hot topic in the Discord lately.
It has. There's a lot of people talking about it. They're wanting to do it. They're asking for ideas, or how would we go about this, or what does one do to prep themselves for it? But you did it. You had a pretty cool layout on how you did it. You spotlighted, you did a spotlight for streamers. You played games with the community. Then you played your spooky games. I showed up for a good bit of the very beginning of it. I think I watched about 4 hours. Then I went to bed, and then I got up the next morning and I watched more. Which I tend to do that with Unicorn streams as well. I go to bed and get up and watch more. So, like, how did you prep? How did you handle it? What was it like? How tired were you afterwards?
What advice would you give? What would you do differently?
What's your advice? Also, I want to know how in the world that you got off your 24-hour stream, and then 3 hours later you were doing your Saturday night stream that you normally do.
Because that legitimately was the most impressive thing about it.
Like, we were like, GT's out here showing everybody up.
Yeah,
is what's happening. So,
see what I mean?
Yeah, give us the rundown.
Just like not healthy, but so I guess like I'm kind of like I can be a lot like Gas, where I would love to have like a solid plan for everything, but also I know that like real life doesn't work like that, and so. At the same time, I also can very like haphazardly just like feel like I'm going to do something and then just throw myself into it and like hope for the best. And so a lot of people thought, and some of you may be heartbroken knowing this, but a lot of people thought that I had like really planned this out. Like really like for a long time or something. Like I had planned this for like a month or two. And the simple fact of the matter is that I came up with this idea like a week away from when I actually did it. And I said, it was like a week and a half or something. And I've never done one before. That was my very first one. So I had no clue about anything. How to do one, what even like to do. But so I knew the one thing, which is what I do to like stay true to what I'm trying to give the community, right? So like the spotlights. And so I knew that I wanted to use this time, whatever that means, however I was going to use the 24 hours. But some of it was I was going to give back to the community because they were being so supportive of me. And so, you know, a lot of people do like giveaways and things like that. And I didn't necessarily, the very first thought I had as far as like, what do I give away that would really mean something? My time, the camera time. You know what I mean? Like that time, that spotlight where I can share them with the community and people can get a good look of like who the streamer is who is it behind the stream? You know what I mean? There's some questions, things like that. But that was my giveaway. And it was also a way for me to kind of test the market because like, yeah, I don't necessarily come from sales, but I do understand sales very well. And so it was a way for me to also test the market because I knew very much, probably around the same time I started streaming, that eventually I was also going to get into podcasting and using a lot of my time for podcasting as streamer spotlights. But in order for me to do that, I need to make sure this even works, right? Like, is this even going to be a good idea? And so the only way for me to really test the market out was to showcase this in my 24-hour. Like, let's see if the community would even be interested in hearing from Gas or hearing from Uni, you know, several others that I'd had on stream. And when the community's response was that they freaking loved it. I mean, they were like actively asking questions in chat. We were doing some fun things with these people. When we get choked, like the one scene where me and Uni was getting choked up and she actually passes the tissue through the camera. That was gold. That was amazing. So you get to like really interact with that person and people get to see just like a different side of the streamer. And that was a really big like green flag to go ahead and like move forward in the direction for like the podcasting direction. But then also to just stay on the topic of streamer spotlights and not because, you know, we did it to just the more I say we, by the way, anytime I say we, I really am just talking about myself. Okay. So me and myself and I, okay. But I did this and with just a way for us to just kind of like check it out and see if the idea would be a hit. And there was so much interest, not just from the audience side, but from the streamer side. And I was like, wow, this actually really could be something value added for the person, right? Because I could start a podcast on whatever, but how do you make that time value added for somebody? Like what keeps a person interested? And it's the same thing for like a product, like your stream. Like, what would keep them interested? Which is why I brought like some really cool, unique stuff into my last stream, just to kind of switch it up. Like with the voice changing stuff, which I freaking am in love with right now, just because it's even fun for me to just switch back and forth. But
are you using voice mod?
I am, yeah, and it's so fun.
It is fun.
And so, you know, like that's why, because I know we were on stream or during the streamathon, and we were talking about like the topic of podcasts, like live stream right then. And remember, I was like, you know, I'm telling like Panic, this is the to go. Like the spotlights are a hit, you know, and not necessarily for the person running the podcast, but for the streamer themselves. It's just something that's really solid to give back that person when this, and you know for a fact, has been like dedicating time in your streams, just spending the time with you, not even talking about like bits or subs, but also especially those, you know. So on the streaming side, or the streamathon side, I knew for sure I wanted to give a lot of that time back to the community. And when I got such a great response from it, that was really kind of half the battle for me. Was, hey, how do I entertain for 24 hours? Was one of my biggest questions, right? Because I could stay up and talk to anybody for 24 hours, but what are we going to talk about? Like, what are we going to do? And so streamer spotlights took up a good chunk of that time, like almost half. And that was really just me giving streamers, 30 minutes? But it was the technical switching back and forth that also took up some time. And then before you, I mean, you know, it's the middle of the night. I didn't expect to do any streamer spotlights in the middle of the night. So that's why we picked up Gas, and I think it was Jen on the back end of the stream, because it was like morning. But I mean, I literally had people staying up with me through the night. I swore I was going to be by myself playing Stray. And that's why I picked that game, by the way, is during the dead hours. I was like, well, let me play a game I'm going to want to play. It's going to keep my interest just in case nobody shows up. But people stayed. I mean, like, I talked to people throughout the entire night. It was insane. Like, I did not expect that. Which also helped me stay awake for sure. But I don't think I got to a point in the stream where I was like hardcore crashing. Like, I do remember, I was standing up at one point. I had adjusted the camera and the mic so that I could like stay up, stretch my legs, keep playing the game. So I did that for a little bit, but I never actually felt like I was going to crash out or fall asleep or anything like that. Another big takeaway for the streamathon, that I'm a huge believer in, like, well, I mean, I think we all are and should be. If we're looking for things that are working, you would obviously like benchmark whatever working, right? Like, I think Panic, it was you that said the last stream that like copying is like the highest form of flattery or whatever, right?
Yep.
And so, I mean, not with the like the spitting, but I mean also that, but mostly how do you, the other things, right? Like the wheel, I pulled that from like just basically just research, just in questions on like I think I went to TikTok and I was like, you know, how to stay entertaining during a subathon. And then there were all these videos of like creators that had really funny skits during a subathon, or literally a creator would come on and say, hey, these are like the top 5 things that I've done in some of my subathons. And I came across the wheel several times. And, you know, you kind of like just take note of what's working and then what do to put your own spin on it. You know what I mean? And make it your own. Because like I could do a wheel, you guys could do a wheel, but obviously the things on that wheel are going to be completely different. Yep. And if they were exactly the same, your reactions and my reactions are going to be completely different. You know what I mean? So like, that's kind of where the wheel came from.
That's the biggest thing to take away. It's okay to copy. Like, it's okay to say, hey, I like that, I'm going to do it. But the key is when you make it your own, or like you said, it could be a copy and paste situation, but those reactions and how you respond to things are going to be completely different than what that other person did. So that's really all streaming is. We're all copying each other in an aspect one way or another, and it's just making it our own, having fun with it, and finding a way to incorporate it into what we're doing. So, you know, yeah. That's what's pretty cool about this whole thing. You can't really get mad at somebody that may have something similar to what you have.
Yeah, right. Because I mean, once you put your own spin on it, it's something that's completely yours at the end of the day, anyways. So I mean, we're all streaming video games. Like we're all doing things like this where we're talking to each other. But what's the real difference? And it's the spin that you put on it yourself, like your own unique spin. And so I think that's like, Gypsy just recently had Gypsy Cinderella. She just had a subathon.
Yep.
And I know she was like kind of nervous about it at first and stuff. And I mean, it was a hit. She had a blast. Like she did like the what is it? The little rubber ducky races.
Yeah, the one that I kicked all of your asses in the very first one.
Yeah.
So
after you left, just so you know.
That's 2 times in a row because I showed up in Bertz's stream and did the same thing with marbles and kicked everybody's butt. So, just saying. Y'all say it's rigged.
Whatever,
I think it's magic.
But I
Y'all are
mean,
gonna get this man a complex.
But I mean, if you did like your next subathon or stream and you played the game, it's not going to be the same as when Gypsy did it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or like she also did a wheel, but she added. I actually think she had Bean Boozled on her.
She let her husband do her makeup.
But she had really good ideas in hers. I love that. Like those were brilliant. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a big element of like overthinking here also. The one thing I did for sure to like market and get the word out was I posted a TikTok every day up until about the stream and the different features that were going to be on the stream. Like one of the TikToks was the streamer spotlight and how to get signed up for it and like what that was going to be about. And then the next one was about the wheel. And if you want to make a suggestion, go to the Discord, drop your suggestion in the channel, and then the next one was about whatever else. But I did that all up until like the day of, just to build hype, to communicate that out. And obviously I communicated this in the night shift. I think Calm told you guys about it too. And, like all the reposting and things like that. So
yeah, we jumped in because, we saw that you were promoting it and we felt it was only right for us to jump in and promote it as well, because you are a big part of, this revival, whether you think you are or not, this big revival of all of us coming together. You're a part of it too. And, you may or may not have, kind of influenced the podcast with your streamathon. And it wasn't giving us the idea of it. It was basically kicking me in the ass and saying, hey, we're just going to do it. Affirming. Affirming it and saying, okay, we're doing it. And really, this thing really picked up steam the last 3-4 weeks. And here we are on episode 2. So,
yeah.
So one of the things that I always tell people, because I've done 2 24-hour streams in the past, and like a lot of people get hung up on, are people going to come support it? Or like, am I going to have viewers the whole time and things like that? Like, typically in my experience, not just on mine, but on 24-hour streams that I've been around, people are going to come and support it, right? Mm-hmm. But you also can't expect anybody to be there the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm always one that tries to level set expectations. So just go have fun. If that's what you want to do, you're doing it for your channel, and have fun with the people that do show up. But you can't get your feelings hurt, get butt hurt, whatever you want to call it, if a certain person is not there the whole 24 hours, because it's just not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know even I was there for a few hours in your stream, and I wasn't always chatting, and I probably lurked for a lot more than that. But those kind of things go a long way. What was your average viewers for that stream?
Good question. I know I could look it up really quick, but so fun fact, I never look at my viewers. Like I never look at the viewer count. Because
listen to that, guys.
I never do. Even before I knew how to hide it, I would put things in the way of it, so I would like never see it. It would be blocked. But because my biggest thing was like I want to have a good time, no matter what. Like not because of X amount of people are in my stream. Hello, yeah, I'm the hero. Have a good time. I have to have a good time. But like, but I don't want to constantly look at that and let that be what keeps me from having a good time or like has me act way. I look at the camera and or the stream and I see like 3 people. I should be doing my thing whether there's 3 people on or there's 50 people in here. And so, to me, it's like I'm going to have a good time no matter what. And if 3 people are in here, I freaking love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. If there's 50 people in here, I freaking love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I think one of the things that like gets a little bit like aggravating on my nerves even is like when people complain about their viewer count. Like I get that it can be a little bit frustrating, but like when they're like, oh man, so and so had so many viewers and I only had 10. I'm like, baby, there's people rocking in here with none. You better be so thankful for those 15 people. They could be anywhere else. They could be watching literally anybody else. And you're telling those 15 currently right now that they don't matter? The audacity. You should be thankful. Be thankful for these people. And people pick up on that energy too. You know what I mean? They do. Because then they're like, oh, well, all right, it's just us tonight. Yeah, baby, I could be anywhere. You better be celebrating that I'm in here. You know what I mean? And because I would be doing the same thing. Be grateful, guys. Like, you could be rocking nobody. And
Amen.
And people pick up on that energy. I know, look at me. I got all worked up. But
look, you over here preaching a sermon.
Preaching.
Yeah.
Amen.
But no, you're right. Because here's the biggest thing is those 10 people took time out of their day because they wanted to come hang out with you. But then they show back up in the Discord community or in a chat somewhere and they see you talking about, well, so-and-so had these numbers, they're growing, but I'm only getting this. And you're basically saying, hey, these people don't matter. Yeah. It's nice that they were there, but I wish there was more. I wish more people would come. Well, we all wish more people would come. That's why we're doing it. Like, we all want that high viewer count. But you gotta love the ones that are there. Because if you love the ones that are there, they're gonna bring their friends.
Exactly.
So they're gonna say, hey, look, this person I'm watching on stream.
Like, they have to know. You've got to communicate to these people. Like,
or the next person that randomly shows up in your stream is going to notice how much you care for the people that are in your stream already. And that's going to make them want to stay. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. You guys probably have noticed, like when I come into a stream, if I'm a viewer, like I'm always typing in all caps and saying the name of the streamer. Like, I'm glad to see them. I'm so pumped to be there. And I do it, like, even if I'm the streamer, like, when GT comes into my stream, I'm like, hero, what's, like that's like one of the reasons why I do that. Like, try to be enthusiastic about somebody being in your stream. Like, maybe I don't subconsciously or intentionally do it that way all the time, but subconsciously that's like, that's how I feel. So I'm 100% on board with how you said that.
Yeah.
And I get excited when I see anybody chat in my like I just get excited. Even if it's an I lurk. Somebody will just pop up and say lurk and I'm like, yes, somebody chatted. Let's go. How are you doing? okay, you're not going to hang out and chat, but you're going to watch, and I'm fine with that because that may be their thing. They may not like talking to you. They may be a complete introvert and they just want to watch you play video games and listen to the nonsense that you're spewing out of your mouth for 2 to 3 hours, if not longer. You know, and so, but yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing is quit worrying about the viewer count, people. Just quit worrying about it. It's going to happen. I promise. And if it doesn't happen, it's fine. You've built your little community that you have. Be happy for that. So,
yeah. I mean, I know that could sound like kind of way like, you know, oh, stop complaining. But at the same time, yes, stop complaining. like nobody's going to stick around for that like Eeyore energy, bro.
I've never been a big like complaint person or an excuse person. Like, and of course that probably goes back to my, you know, my military side of things is find the solution. If you have a complaint in your head or you have an excuse in your head, don't verbalize it. Find the solution. Go find that solution. Put in the work. Find the solution. Change it. Because at the end of the day, you are the only one that can control it. That's it. Nobody else controls what you're doing on stream. Nobody else controls what time you go live. Nobody else controls what you're going to play outside of if they, rewards and, goals and things like that. And you do a poll, let the community decide. Those are a little bit different because now you're doing something to let them, feel involved and feel like they are a part of that stream. But the biggest thing is find the solution. Put in the work, find the solution. Quit making the excuses, because what happens is the excuses is what kills it. So if you're always making excuses, you're eventually not going to have fun doing what you're doing, and you're going to stop. And it kills that dream that you had or that goal that you had.
Yeah. I laugh about this all the time, and I say it on purpose, but I think one of my superhero powers is like this almost like state of delusion positivity, like that things are just gonna work out, just know that it's gonna be a hit, and if it's not today, like, you don't worry about when, you just know that it's gonna happen, and you go after it like it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen today, and it may not. The win is not the most important part, right? It's instead of like you have to see it to believe it, it's one of those like you have to believe it to see it moments. You have to believe that this is going to be a thing, and then you will see it as long as you put all your intention and your energy behind it.
Yeah, that internal optimism is key there.
And that's contagious too.
Yeah.
Like that's a complete vibe on a stream. Like, I mean, it translates into the whole, like, you're having fun with what you're doing. You're positive, and because people are attracted to positivity. Like, I mean, I know they say, negativity breeds company and things like that, but positivity breeds company too. Like, it works both ways. So people that have a positive vibe in their stream, which you do, it's always positive. Like, you're not going to attract people like that are trolls and want to be negative in a stream, because A, you just don't attract that, and B, the people that you have attracted to your stream are not, they're going to police that for you. They're just not going to have it. Right? And that's like some of the best mods, like, not even like people that are officially mods, they're just like, we're not going to have that here. Like, if somebody comes in being negative. Yeah. And so it's awesome.
Yeah, and it's, people will notice. If you're not having fun, people notice. Mm-hmm. And it drives them away. Like, it drives them away. And like my go-to, like, there's been times that I've had to to suck things up, and I'm not really having fun. But my personality, because I am that optimist, and I tend to I don't have a serious mindset about anything. I'm just kind of a goofy person. I tend to just start making jokes. I tend to just start goofing off, and I make it fun for myself, and I start to enjoy myself. Maybe not the game I'm playing. I may still not enjoy the game that I'm playing, but I'm having fun with what's going on outside of that. So, that's the biggest thing, is just find that way to keep having fun, quit worrying about what others think. Do your thing, because like you said, it's going to happen. May not be today, but it's going to happen. So, it's a lot of things to think about. It's, going into is this right for, thinking, is this the right path for me? Or, those are things you really do have to think about. But if you're having fun, everything's the right path, correct? It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. So, and that, the crazy thing is you got done with your subathon. What'd you say? You slept for what? 2 hours? Maybe?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
it was like
2 hours.
Yeah.
And then you were back to playing.
Yeah.
You were back to playing your spooky game. And you played till like 2-3 o'clock in the morning again. Like there's those unhealthy habits.
I didn't want to take away. There they are. I didn't want to break the streak, not the streak, but like the schedule, because like consistency is key. And so, and it's funny because like I do remember sleeping 2 hours and then getting up, and I was like, these people are tired of me. They got to be. They just spent 24 hours with me. Nobody's coming back for this second round.
And then they did, didn't they?
But I did it anyway. Yeah, and then they did. But mostly it was because they were like, did you forget to turn the camera off? Because like there's no way that you like yeah, do you know that you're still on? But I mean, yeah, it was a great time. And if anybody has any like a-thon questions, like I'm not the only person who's done one. I mean, Gas has done several long streams. That was the only one I've done yet. I do plan on doing some other ones, but I mean, I'm always open for questions or anything.
So just so you know, we typically stay on after the recording of the podcast, and we do like a Q&A session. So if you've got a little time after, I think there's already a couple questions that have been asked for you specifically on the text line that we have. So yeah, that'll come up afterwards. But I don't know, maybe we save some of that for the Q&A. So one of the questions I always like to ask: are there any games that you're looking forward to that haven't come out yet? Do you follow like release dates on games?
So if I had more time to like really follow things, I would definitely be into it. But it's just so crazy. Like if I'm online, I'm doing things for like stream or social media or something. So like I have a really hard time keeping up with everything, but I'll be scrolling. Like yesterday I was scrolling and they have like the remake for Elder Scrolls Oblivion. And like, I fully anticipate playing that on Friday. Just so everybody knows.
I didn't even know that they were
I got to check that out. Me neither. Yeah. That was a surprise.
Like Waters, are like the guy that lives across the street from me, Panic's cousin, just texted me the other day, hey, did you know they're releasing the remake for Oblivion today? And I'm like, what?
It's so good.
It's a top 3 all-time game for me. It's it's one of my favorite games of all time.
And so I'm actually playing it for the first time. Right now. Yeah, it's my first time ever playing the game, because I couldn't play it because the graphics were so bad on Xbox 360 and PlayStation was just superior graphic-wise at that time. And Final Fantasy always just looked better. So, but
shots fired.
It's fun. Like what I what little bit I got to play last night I actually streamed an impromptu stream for a little while last night and played it, and it's a lot of fun. It looks great. They did a great job revamping everything. So I'm actually excited about actually playing it when I can. And it's one of those games I don't have to stream every time I play it because it's so open world and it's so, it's not main story driven. You can just go do side quests and everything and save the main story for streams or, vice versa. Mm-hmm. So
listen, the story of have you played Skyrim or Oblivion, GT?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Have you played Oblivion?
Yeah.
Okay, so but for Panic, I know that you've kind of dabbled with Skyrim in the past. The story for Oblivion is so good. The gameplay, it's kind of like Borderlands, right? The gameplay for Borderlands 3 was superior, but the story for Borderlands 2 is just it's top tier, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing for me. Like the story for Oblivion was so good, and the Skyrim story was okay, but the gameplay was better. It's very similar in that way.
I've got, I don't know how many hours in Skyrim because of you and Waters. I still don't know what the story is, to be honest. It's, it's fine. Yeah, I have it still, and I may go back and play it after I play Oblivion. I may do that. Probably not. I probably just own it on my Switch for no reason.
We need to test out the multiplayer app again.
It was so bad, but I mean, we can do it.
It might be better now.
You know me. It's not. It's not. It's not. But yeah, so Oblivion, you're looking forward to Oblivion. What else? What else?
Yeah.
Are there any spooky games coming out that
definitely look forward to Oblivion. I think everybody on the planet is just waiting for GTA 6 to drop. I feel like I've been waiting for that forever and probably will still be forever. Even when they say they're going to, I feel like they're just keep extending it out forever. But I really enjoy the GTA games.
Q Preston. He's gonna pop in again.
Listen, I don't think it's coming out this year, and I pray to God that it doesn't, because otherwise I'm losing 16 points in my Fantasy Critic League. Because I don't believe it's coming out this year. I don't. And if that happens, then I win. I just win. No one can catch up, and I win. But otherwise, it's a neck-and-neck race. And there's another game that's coming out this week that just got me in second place now, and I am so mad. So mad.
What game?
Claire Obscura Expedition 33. It is by a French studio. It is being published by Xbox, even though Xbox doesn't own the studio that's making it. Imagine if a French studio made a Final Fantasy game, like Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, and 10.
It looks good.
It's getting 9 and 10 out of 10s, and it comes out Friday. And between Blueprints, between Oblivion Remake, and between Claire Expedition 33... I don't know what I'm going to play. Oh, Lord. I have so much I want to play. And 2 of them are RPGs. Yeah. One of them's a 60-hour puzzle game. Come on.
I think that Claire Expedition's coming out on Game Pass, too. Straight release to Game Pass as well. Wow. So
both Oblivion and Claire Expedition 33 are Game Pass games. So, hey.
Well, I wished I would have known about the Oblivion one because I spent $60 on it.
To be fair, they did shadow drop Oblivion yesterday. It was rumored that it was coming out, but they officially announced it and released it on the same day. By the way, Phil Spencer, if you're watching this, like I say on my stream, sponsor me, please. Game Pass, please. I'm begging you. I plug Game Pass so much on my stream. Please sponsor me.
But so yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's so many games out there. GTA 6, I can't talk about that because another hot button issue. I have never played a Grand Theft Auto game. I never had a desire to.
It's one of the most shocking things that I've ever heard, honestly.
Oh my gosh.
Never touched it. So maybe one, maybe this is the one. So maybe I'll try it out.
It's going to be the one.
So, it probably will be because, I collab with Gas a lot, and he's going to want to play it, and the only way to play with Gas is to play that game. so I'll have to play it. So that's how I play most of the games that I play.
I mean, most Twitch categories might as well shut down that week when that game drops, probably for 2-3 weeks. So,
it's not that I just never played it. Like, I never had the desire to play it. I played other games. I played the Borderlands series. I did play Red Dead. I liked Red Dead. It's a great game. Apparently, it's just GTA and on a horse.
The Wild West.
Right.
So I probably would enjoy Grand Theft Auto. But I'm a big RPG guy. Like, I'm Final Fantasy series. After 15, I really didn't enjoy 12. 13 was okay, and the 17 spinoffs that they had for it, it was fine. But I like Final Fantasy's been, that style of game's been my go-to. Gas has kind of opened up my love of like survival crafting style games. I do enjoy those, but
it scratches like the creativity itch.
Yeah.
But speaking of Borderlands, did you ever play Borderlands, GT?
I watched people play Borderlands. I've not actually played Borderlands.
So there's another Borderlands coming out in September.
Yeah, let's go. I will play anything. Like, I literally will play whatever.
Borderlands is just such a
straight chaos.
Yeah, it's straight chaos. It's fun. It's funny. Like, the commentary that's in it is hilarious. It creates funny moments because it's the pure chaos, and then it's a lot of fun with friends. Like, because you can play with up to 4 people in every game, and it's just a lot of fun. But we'll have to get you on that. We'll have to get you on that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, and that's another big thing to move to is like, games are important, but what are some things that you have coming up outside of just the games?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing here in the near future that you kind of want to plug yourself? Here's your shameless plug moment.
Where can people find you if they don't know who you are?
Yeah, of course. So, I am doing some really cool stuff, like, individually, like, for the channel, for the GT Hero channel. Just writing some, like, stream log, like, voice mod stuff, all the good stuff. I do anticipate another streamathon coming up. I can't, like, give a time for that, but I'll be probably a little more prepared for this one, just because, like, I've been through it before, so I know what to expect. But I'm thinking maybe sometime in the summer. But it's been a long time coming. I know I mentioned it in the streamathon when we were doing the streamer spotlights, but I'm finally making it happen because I've been working like a mad person on it. But I am going to kick off a podcast, and it's, interestingly enough, Calm and I are going to be doing one together. So it'll be the podcast is called The Compass and the Cape. And so
that's awesome.
Let's
I know.
Go. One of us.
Right.
One of us.
So, but I mean, that's what I want to brag about the community here, because, like, like, there's just like we were talking about earlier, like the spotlights on the streamathon are obviously different from the spotlights that you guys are doing here. The spotlights in the podcast, the Compass and the Cape, will be completely different than what you guys, like, see. But the point is that there's people in the community, there's more opportunity for the streamers to spotlight. You know what I mean? Like, it's the point, guys, is like, you have more opportunity because you have that much more of a community that's, like, growing and that's invested in building people up, right? So, like, it doesn't matter. Everybody has their own spin. Like, I'll be serving up spotlights the hero way, and then Calm every other week will be doing a mental health spotlight with someone. So they'll be talking about, like, more mental health stuff, but in gaming. But maybe in gaming, be some outside of gaming. But I mean, it's just another way for somebody to be supported. And I think like the community as a whole would benefit from every like being interested in supporting other people, because that's where all this is coming from. Like that's where it all stems from. And so like Calm had talked about doing a podcast in the past, and I mentioned it in the Streamathon like out loud to everybody, but I fully anticipated when my brother and sister and I were in streaming together like a couple years ago, we were thinking about just transitioning into a podcast instead of doing like the stream. But, you know, obviously that didn't happen because here we are. But so that'll be something that I'll launch with Calm. And it'll have like this like yin and yang moment. You know what I mean? Like obviously you for, you know, like Calm Compass Gaming is who I'm referring to, but she offers the community something so great that I could never. You know what I mean? Like you come you come to me when you want like that like hype. You know what I mean? Like that strong motivation. You want me to just like serve you up a bucket of positivity and like
the bros.
You know, yeah, like that's what you come to me for. You need help, like you need whatever, like that's cool. You go to Calm for like, I was gonna say like the things that matter like deeply, but you know,
the important stuff.
Yeah, right. But I mean, you know, like she just naturally has always been that way for as long as I've known her. She's just a natural at that kind of thing. And for her, like she's got such a passion about it. It's crazy. And interestingly enough, in the gaming community, that's actually a pretty big gap. And so, so we're excited about bringing that. And then just like some really cool features I hope to like bring to the community, but we fully anticipate on launching at least like the introductory podcast this Sunday. And
awesome.
Surprise.
I'm so excited.
I'll tell you.
Look, imagine this. So this will be the third podcast within just our community. Imagine all like the three of us being top 100
Only
in our perspective, because we're all going to fall into that gaming category for the podcast side of things. So it's not a big category out there. So it wouldn't be hard for all three podcasts, especially with the community that we have.
You just need over 10 downloads on Apple Podcasts to start cracking that.
Yeah.
We got a lot of Spotify on my podcast and a lot of Spotify on this podcast. AKA, if you have an Apple device, please download us on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah. So, like, that's awesome. Like, I'm pumped. Like, I'm excited about it. Like, I'm going to tune in on Sunday to watch. Are y'all doing it live on Twitch as well, or y'all
so
like
we
the
will
same
be doing
thing?
It live? Yeah, so I think what we chose Sunday because, like, obviously through the week is just chaos. Like, we're doing stuff for ourselves. We're doing stuff, like, in the community and stuff. And being there for other people's things, like being here for this podcast and showing up for other people's streams that we're, like, really networking with. So, like, through the week is super difficult. And so, like, we plan streaming live on Sunday, and then we'll edit the versions down to about an hour or so, and then we'll release them on Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff.
Heck yeah. Hey, I'm so pumped.
I'm gonna step out of bounds real quick, and I'm just gonna go ahead and make an invite. We have the next two guests lined up for this podcast. Calm. After that, do you want to be the guest number 5? So let us know.
You can let us know afterwards.
So we're gonna go that, and that way we can get a fresh perspective of somebody that has just started a podcast too, right? Not just us. We're going to get the experience of that as well, and we'll go from there. Not like we weren't going to ask Calm to be a guest soon anyway, but I mean that was coming pretty soon. But yeah, that's so awesome. I had no clue, and that's such a good name. That is such a good name.
The Compass in the Cape. I know.
It's so good. It is such a good name.
Love that name.
Yeah. So God, I'm so excited. Look, I'm speechless now because now I've got another podcast that I can listen to while I'm working because that's all I do because I'm old. I don't listen to music anymore while I'm driving. I listen to people talk. So like I'm pumped. And look, to be honest, I probably will show up Sunday for the first live one. But after that, I'm not showing up because I want to be able to listen to it organically in my truck and get that enjoyment feeling while I'm driving around. So that way I have just one more podcast to take up the time of the day.
There you go.
I will come in and tab up and throw a lurk and I will walk away. I don't want to hear nothing until it's released on my Apple Podcasts and I can download it and just listen.
It's okay, GT. He does it too.
I do. Look,
nice.
Preston sends me, as soon as it's released, he sends me the link.
Yeah.
So that way I can go right to it.
I listen to Preston versus Elijah on the airplane. So
yeah. It's
nice.
Podcasts are my thing. Like I enjoy them.
GT, give everybody your actual Twitch name and your TikTok. That way, if they don't, give everybody your actual Twitch name and your TikTok. Like, where can they find you? Just for like any new people that we have that might listen to the podcast. That way, they can find you and come visit you live on the
absolutely.
Platforms.
Yeah, so I'm on TikTok as GTHeroGaming. I'm also on Twitch, GTHeroGaming. YouTube is Gaming with GTH because it was being weird with the name. Whatever.
I don't like it. It doesn't.
Yeah, me neither.
Feel right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm super active on TikTok and Twitch and YouTube. There's a lot of shorts on YouTube. I'm also just scratching the surface on some more of like tutorial stuff. Like I did make a video on like how to use Nexus clips because that was such a big resource for me. And I'm really passionate about like sharing things that helped me overcome some obstacles while I was new. And I feel like, that could be beneficial to the community. So it's like a series that I've coined GT Hero streaming tips. So, and I'll just jump in and share like 30, 60 seconds of tip, help you better camera presentation or, how to set certain things up, how to stumble over your words, just like that.
That Nexus clip video is awesome, by the way.
Yeah, it was good.
It was really good.
And then now now I'm gonna go watch Noah's by Heart. For the next couple of hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, Noah's by Heart. You can find GT there as well.
A new side that we didn't know existed of GT.
Yeah.
Yes.
Completely different side. Yeah. Noah's by Heart on TikTok. Mm-hmm.
But
so it's been fantastic. We're at the 2-hour mark. That's kind of what our goal is most times. But man, it never this episode and the episode before, it has not ceased to amaze me that we literally have just talked for 2 hours and
could talk for longer. To be honest,
yeah.
We could talk about things for longer because there's so much more to cover.
Of course.
So, and like we told Unicorn, this isn't a one-off. This is not a one-off. There's going to be more opportunities of bringing you in. And I know we kind of talked about it off stream of bringing you in as, kind of a special guest host. And you come in while we've got another person that we're spotlighting for that time. Just to kind of, to be able to spend more time getting to know you and seeing the things that you're doing and talking about your podcast now, because I'm excited about that. So that's going to be exciting. And really, I'm very grateful that you said yes. I kind of thought, kind of like with Unicorn, I thought we were going to have to kind of pitch it a little bit more, but just like Unicorn, it was an immediate yes. You were like, hell yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do this thing. And for that, we're 100% grateful because you do mean a lot to this community. And I know,
and just us, like as just Panic and Gas individuals, you mean a lot to us.
You really do. And I know you probably don't like to get the mushy stuff out there and that kind of thing, but you do. You mean a lot to a lot of people in this community. Your name comes up a lot. And for that, we're very grateful that we're able to say, hey, that's our friend. That's not just another streamer. That's our friend. And that's somebody that, me personally, I look up to you, on that aspect of what you're doing because it's amazing. And it's something that I strive to do. And to be honest, we're doing our thing. Gas and I are doing our thing. But it doesn't hurt to strive to do something that you're putting out there to be like that as well. So
it's had more of an influence on this community than you might know.
Yes. So
that's awesome.
Just leave knowing that, and you'll probably get to see it a little bit, here after we're doing the Q&A, because that is the time where we open it up to connect with the people that are in the chat, hanging out, and they can ask you questions. So, kind of here at the end, we want to remind the listeners, the podcasting schedule, we're live every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sorry, I'm not going to list out everybody else's time during that time frame for the time zones. And it releases on Fridays to all our major platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google, YouTube, the weird ones that nobody listens to. I don't even know the names of them.
Don't forget to visit. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Don't forget to visit the merch store. We have all kinds of Night Shift merch, and then we also have the official Two Dads One Tub merch as well. Rock those. I'm sure there will be a conversation starter for anybody that sees them. I've heard some stories already about being in random places and people getting asked about their hoodies and things like that. And then last but not least, if you enjoyed what you heard tonight, if you enjoyed your time with GT, with Panic and myself, do us a solid. Go and download the episode on your favorite platform, especially if you have Apple Podcasts at this point, because just so you guys know, we were at 117 out of on the podcast charts for the video gaming category this week.
It rose to 113.
We rose to 113 as of see. I got real time stats at this point. So we are shooting for top 100 because it helps us in the algorithms as far as it puts us on the discovery page. So rate us 5 stars, give us a review, and download the podcast. And guys, we just appreciate you all being here. Thank you for downloading the podcast. Thank you for listening to the podcast, because honestly, we're just a couple of dads that get on here and talk with our friends. So
yep, that's it. And also, I want to throw a caveat in there. Again, this is the second caveat within a podcast. If you didn't like the podcast, go download it. Do us a favor. You don't have to listen to it again. Just go download it. Help us out a little bit. We would really appreciate it. So, we're going to take a quick break right now. And then we're going to move over and test out the new text-in line here during the Q&A session. So, GT, do you mind hanging out for a few more minutes?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Thank you so much for being here. We love you, GT.
Yeah, love you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
And thank you, everybody else that joined us tonight. And definitely go download. Go download.
Night shift blues, so we fire up the stream. Two dads raising hell, chasing whiskey dreams. Soap suds spilling like some midnight truth. Talking life from the tub, don't need no booth. Two dads, one tub.